Hey guys, I hope this message finds everyone well. This is Son of Liberty. Today I'm going to be talking about and sharing the review of my Special Operations Technology Flat IFAK, or SOTech, as commonly known as. This particular IFAK is mounted on a Viking Tactics Battle Belt. This particular battle belt is what I would envision that myself would need in a type of SHTF situation or a raw scenario. This would give me the ability to be able to carry extra magazines, flashlight, of course my secondary weapon, a knife if I needed it, multi-tools. However, you can set this thing up to however you want to. Now, if you want to see a better review of this particular battle belt, I will post a link in the description down below. This was the actual battle belt that I ran before I took the Haley Strategic course, and I actually ran down there. So, I did get a lot of good feedback from that course. One of the things that we were required to do was shoot from inside of a vehicle.
To left, right over left shoulder. High left. Nice. All right, safe.
Okay, now I had never done that before, so that really opened my eyes to, the flaws of my particular setup, and my medical kit happened to be one of them. Now, I do want to point out that the medical kit that I was running at that course is not as full as this one is here. Now, I have another medical kit that I take with me anytime I go hunting or hiking, camping. If I'm outside or outdoors, the particular IFAK that goes with me, I've done a review on, and I'll also post that link in the description down below. Now, however, I have since recently transferred all of that medical stuff into this IFAK. Now, this one is from SOE Technology. Or Tactical, excuse me, SOE Tactical. This is a tearaway pouch. Again, on this battle belt, you can see a little bit better, review of this one on this kit. So, however, what I needed to have the ability to do is that if I needed to be able to remove my medical kit so that I could work from it. And I didn't want it to be here on the side where I needed access to magazines, because I'm a right-handed shooter. This is where I would need to access the magazines with my left hand. My gun pretty much takes up the right-hand side, so, it was going to have to go on the small of my back for my particular setup. So one of the things that I noticed was that I could not get inside of a vehicle and be able to shoot. I was being pushed too forward in the seat, and it wasn't going to work. So I had to actually remove this from my actual battle belt when I went in to go shoot from the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a no BS review of this IFAK, my personal opinion of it. I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. First and foremost, I really love its size. Okay, it really fits. It actually has a much more slimmer appearance, as you can actually see compared to the other one. It's a lot thinner. I have added some additional items to this. Now, on the side of the IFAK, you'll see this nylon straps. It's actually got it on both sides. Okay, so whether you are left or right-handed, maybe you've got something in one hand, you need to access it with your other one. Maybe the particular way you might be laying on the ground, if you're wounded, somebody else needs to access this side, you can pull it from either or. Now, all this is just a shell, okay? So your actual medical kit is inside. Now, let me go ahead and show you guys on the bottom. On the bottom, I really liked how they added this stretchable nylon material here, or spandex. I'm not really sure on the actual material type. but it is stretchable. Okay, they added 3 strips here on the bottom. What this does is this just allows it to breathe, or allows it to stretch when you are pulling it out or inserting your med kit back into it. Now, however, I will go ahead and point out, I strongly feel that they should have put those same strips up here on the top. And the reason I say this is because this thing is an absolute monster to get back into this kit. However, I have added additional items that I feel like is necessary, you know, in a gunshot wound scenario. Okay, now, you know, if you're at the range, you know, that's how I prep all my IFAK kits. They are basically meant to be able to handle up to a gunshot wound. So it's actually mounted. This is not a tearaway type system. It's actually mounted and ran through the webbing. Now, this has got a little bit different type of setup. Instead of it actually having a buckle system, it actually runs through, and what they've done is they folded over this nylon and they've stitched it here. So this is actually what holds the IFAK into place. And I'm just telling you guys, this is not going anywhere. You are not going to have to worry about this thing coming off once it's installed. Whether you're going to put it on a battle belt itself, sorry guys, I'm doing this with one hand, or if you're going to put this on an actual vest, you know, maybe you're in law enforcement, you want to put this on the underneath your left arm. You know, this does provide a very low profile, you know, for you to be able to do that. Now, maybe one of the benefits of being a police officer is that, you know, maybe you've got a particular setup. You know, if you're SWAT, you're going in on a call, you're going to have backup. You're probably going to have a lot of additional officers possibly with you. Now, maybe you've got this particular IFAK setup, you know, on your vest. If you're a law enforcement officer, I've got a buddy of mine, of course, in conjunction with his, you know, his undercover vest, or his vest he wears on a day-to-day basis, he also has an external tactical vest with plates in the back of his cruiser, you know, with medical attached as well. So, you know, again, it depends. If you're, you know, if you're just wanting something to set up just to go to the range, have a good time, have, you know, the accessibility of all the things that you would like to train with, whether it be a flashlight, you know, your tactical reloads, you know, whatever that case may be, you know, this is a very versatile system. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this IFAK, and I'll show you the details of the inside. All right, so we've got the medical kit itself removed from its shell. One thing I'm going to point out here, that some alterations that I've made to the straps. Of course, I've mentioned before, these straps are sewn onto the kit itself so that you can access it from its shell ambidextrously. However, on the bottom of these straps, there was an additional loop on that was sewn on the bottom of both nylon straps. I felt like that those were going to be snag hazards, so I went ahead and cut those off and removed them, and then just cinched the nylon back, you know, back together here with a lighter. They actually hung down a lot more than I felt like I was comfortable with running this particular setup. So anyway, that's just a small alteration that I've already done to the kit itself. So on the back of this kit, one of the pros I want to mention is that it's got a piece of Velcro that is sewn all the way on the back side of the strip. Inside the shell, there is also the male fitting, or the male Velcro strip that's sewn on the inside. So here it's got a female strip, and what that does is that just allows that to seat a little bit better and more firmly inside of its shell once it's replaced. So I thought that that was an added benefit to that. You know, in all honesty, I think that it could have probably been a little bit larger, or maybe done 2 larger strips maybe on both sides. But again, this thing, and I'll show you guys in just a minute, it is an absolute bear to actually get back into the shell itself. However, I have added additional items to the kit itself. Now, so accessing this top area here, there is a kangaroo pouch that's located here at the top. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want to point out very quickly, this was actually sewn on by a friend of mine. She does very good work. She does a lot of work on military gear, and she's really good at what she does. So I talked to her and her husband about what configurations that I want done to this to make it better suited for me. The problem that I felt that I was going to possibly run into is that in a high-stress situation, you've got a buddy that's just been shot. You yourself may have taken around. you know, maybe it was an accidental discharge from a class you might happen to be teaching on the range. You know, you go to access this kit, you pull it out, and under, you know, stress, when you pull this thing out, this top piece here would just fly open. And I felt like that there was gear. For example, I had an EpiPen that was in the top initially, okay, so my EpiPen would sometimes fall out. I felt like that was something that was completely overlooked, and so I wanted to get it fixed. So I sent it to her, let her make some alterations here. So we've got some additional Velcro just to make sure that that stays closed. So when I open this and pull it from the actual shell itself, this isn't going to fly open on me, and I'm not going to lose any needed medical equipment. So anyway, it folds open here. This kit does come with this Velcro from the manufacturer, okay, and it's very good. It is military grade Velcro. So inside, tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and we'll start with a kangaroo pouch first, and then we'll work our way from the left to the right. So in the top, I have a chest seal, which in my opinion is an absolute must for gunshot wounds, if that's how you want to build your kit, however. So here on the left, I've got gloves that are just easily accessible. I've only got one pair for me. Inside of here, I've got a small tourniquet, okay. Most of you guys know that have been looking at kits. This is basically an Israeli bandage. It's for trauma wound dressing. Here I've got some compressed H&H gauze. On the top here, I've got some more compressed gauze. This stuff's really great because you can wrap. You can either wrap the wound, you can either pack a wound with it. So a gauze is very important, especially if you're trying to control, you know, hemorrhaging from yourself or from another individual. Quick cloth. I've got some medical tape here, my EpiPen. Now, so just to give you a little close-up view of the additional pouch that we've got sewn on here. You know, as I mentioned before, they could have been using a different type of shear, but what we done, or she done, is she took a piece of multicam paneling with Velcro sewn to the outside of it, sewn it to this you know, paneling here, and you can also see the Velcro that's been sewn there. So she done a really great job on this paneling. But what that done is give me the ability, and let me mention this real quick, there's an actual opening at the bottom. She thought well enough to leave that opening, and as a lot of you guys know, that on the bottom of a set of EMT shears there's this flat panel that just allows it to ride smoother against the skin of the patient. You know, it's not going to injure the patient any further. Almost like a guide, I guess you could say. But anyway, that sticks out a little bit, and so she left that opening so the shears actually set perfect inside this pouch, and now I have an additional pouch to be able to put my nasopharyngeal tube. So it ended up working out a lot better once that I had the alterations done to this particular kit. So again, I felt like that there was some things that they definitely overlooked in creating this pouch, but on the flip side of that, you know, this is one of the first pouches on the market that gives the user this flat or compressed type of you know, medical kit. Now they're even making medical kits even smaller. You know, you can get some you know, dark medical, you know, kits that are about this size that just fit in a cargo pocket. However, for this particular setup, what I'm going to be using it for, I wanted to have the ability to have more items that I could add to it. So anyway, so let's go ahead and take a look at this IFAK actually mounted, and so you can see it being deployed. Okay guys, so here's the demonstration of me actually deploying the IFAK. Again, if you need to access it, you know, left-handed, right-handed, however, I'm right-handed, I would more than likely access it this way. So you just simply just grab the strap and then just pull. Now, you see when I actually pulled the kit out, how you could see how that this would be very easily, you know, could come open and you could lose some medical gear. So that's the reason why I had the Velcro sewn on the inside. All right, now I told you guys earlier that I would show you how difficult it is to get this back in its shell. You guys seen what's the inside, the contents. There's not a whole lot inside this medical kit, but when you're going to go put this thing back in here, it is not a user-friendly system, so it does make it more difficult to get this kit back in here. Now, you can actually see my EpiPen. There's not a way for me to access this EpiPen or lay it here on the side, so I've had to do what I can to get it in. But again, that's just to show you how difficult it is to get this thing fed back into the shell itself. So there it is. Anyway, if you have any questions about this kit, please leave a comment or send me a message. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope that you found this review helpful in your decision on the medical kit that you may want to carry on your battle belt or your vest. If you have any questions, again, leave me a comment, and hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thanks, guys.